So, we are currently sitting at March 10th, and I've already finished 2 fiction books. I don't know what's gotten into me, but I really am, I'm deep in my reader girl era. So, I want to show what I've read so far. So the first book I finished is it's a middle grade, that, why did my brain just break trying to explain that? I was gonna say that I bought at work. I don't know why that detail is necessary. I don't read too many middle grades. I would like to start because, you know, I am a children's librarian, so it's nice to know about these books. But anyway, the one I finished in March is The Queen of Thieves by Johan Rundberg. Now this is I have it on my phone because I needed to bring the copy back so I could catalog it and so the kids could check it out instead of hogging it myself. Because I was waiting for this one. I read the first book in this series in December and loved it. So when I opened my book order, not last week, the week before, first week of March, and saw this was in there, immediately like took it home over the weekend and finished it last week. And I really like this one. So the first in the series is called The Night Raven. This is the Moonwind Mysteries. And it pretty much follows the adventures of a girl who is an orphan, and she helps run an orphanage, and it goes into this mystery. The first one is around the Night Raven, and then the second book kind of reveals a bit more, but can also be it can be like a standalone, I would say. Although I feel like I would read the first one and then the second one, but, you know, it wasn't like they were so heavily, like, it wasn't following the same mystery. There was, like, a separate mystery. And I like this one. I think I liked the first book better. I really, really loved that one. But this one was still good. It was a good sequel. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. So, that was the first one. Now, I just finished this last night. Slewfoot. Oh my gosh. That was so good. So good. So this is like I would say like historical, paranormal fantasy. Maybe like historical horror fantasy. I don't know. But basically we follow the character of Abatha in this very like puritanical society, I guess you could say, like settlement. So that's like the time period is like that, those like early early, what would you call it? Colonial New England. There we go. Which cool. I didn't even really pick up on it, but they towards the end of the book it reveals that it takes place in Connecticut, which is where I live. So neat. Oh my gosh, though. So good. I don't want to reveal too much, but like the end was so wild. So wild. In a good way, but I was like, got to the end and I felt like I was like, what's happening? Yeah, really enjoyed those. Now I'm moving on to, I should say that actually both Slewfoot and, wait, let's go get my next book. I meant to grab it before I started, but you know, let's go on an adventure. To wherever, there it is. This is my next read. This is Emily Wilde's Encyclopaedia of Faeries, which has been out for a bit now. Everyone's loving it. Actually, the second book just came out, the second in this series. And both this book and Slewfoot are ones that I started a while ago when I was trying to get back into reading, but before I discovered the walking pad thing, where like walking and reading at the same time helps me focus. So this was before my reading girl era. And so both of them I got like maybe like a chapter or 2 in, and then just like needed to give it back because I was like hogging it from the library. And at the time they were like really new books, so people wanted them, so I was like, I can't hold on to this when I'm not really like reading it. So yeah, so not to, I feel like that, anyway, I don't know why I had to make that disclaimer, but I feel like that's, because 2 books in 10 days is insane for me, but I was like maybe like 50 pages into that one already, and this one, if I'm remembering where I left off, yeah, like 50 pages into this one too, so I'm excited to be picking them back up, because I am quick, if I am not enjoying a book, I think I've said this, because like all my books are gonna be like 4 or 5 stars, because if I'm not liking it that much, I'm just gonna put it down. I have no qualms about like stopping reading a book. But these were ones that I was like, I know I'm gonna like them, it's just I at the time couldn't focus on it. So I'm excited to be revisiting them. So yeah, really excited about this one. I've heard such good things. Celebrate good times, come on! It's seed starting month. That's what we're celebrating. I'm so excited. Let's go take a tour of my seeds. Why are we maybe not celebrating today? Because it is currently, today's the 15th, exactly middle month basically. And I personally accidentally deleted all of the content I had for this. This is twice I've done that now. Is what it is, but that's okay because we're starting with seeds. It's all fine. So you won't see the usual journal setup because I did it, but it's gone. But that's okay. Other than that, it was just me talking about books I read, which I can do again. So anyway, more importantly, we are out in our, like, it should be a garage. This room should be a garage. The last owner turned it into a room that still looks like a garage, so we're gonna turn it back someday. Regardless, seed starting station. So exciting. So here's the setup. Folding table, lots of grow lights. Okay, what do we have? Here's my beautiful tomatoes. This tray has black crim and German striped that I saved from my tomatoes last year. Then the rest of the tomatoes, those are the only ones, no, I grew 3 kinds of tomatoes last year, but the other kind was ones that you can't germinate. Look at all the seeds germinated. I don't know what I need to look up what I do about that, because clearly I have to separate them, regardless. The rest of the tomatoes I bought. So we have Roma, San Marzano, over here we've got Early Girl, Brandywine, and then Sweet 100 back there. Then we got basil. That's going to be a companion plant. I should maybe grow more basil, because that's a lot of tomatoes. So, I don't know. Anyway, impatiens are just getting going back there. This is my parsley and sage. We got a fan blowing because I didn't have this light before. Things were getting leggy. So that's just what we're doing here. I don't know if that's helping. We'll find out. Chives that are confusing to me. I think they're working. I don't know. Lettuce is going under here. This is my second tray of snapdragons. I will show the other ones I sprouted a bit earlier. Mint is going in there, and I just put in my zinnias. Stevie's playing in garbage. Say hi! She likes to play. What are we playing with here? No, you can't have that. She found it. No, actually she can have that. I thought it was a zip tie. She likes to play with zip ties. I don't like her having those. Nice. A lot of recyclables in here. Anyways, that's besides the point. Let's go look at the rest. So, over here I've got some chives. This is my windowsill. Hello. More chives. My sweet peas, which are doing so beautifully. I didn't have a lot of my seeds germinate from the ones I bought, so these are the 2 that have been successful from the ones I'm starting inside, but I did save some to try and direct sow just because I like to experiment and see what's gonna work best. Let's get these. I'm using my, what do you call it? Arrow Gardens as grow lights inside. So here's our peppers. Jalapeno, cayenne, pepperoncini, which I'm so glad. I didn't think these were gonna work out, but they did. Back here we've got chamomile. I'm having trouble with marigolds, which is, I think I got them too wet. I think that's what's going on. But, so I'm gonna retry those. But then I got more pepperoncinis and hot cherry. And then down here, I just started also some thyme and, what does that say? Cucumber. Thyme and cucumber. Cool. So yeah, the other things I can start my Cosmos, but I need some more oh, I didn't even show, hold on. The Snapdragons. So I made these little like paper tube things. And so these are the ones I started earlier. It's so cool. So I'm gonna have like a nice like 2 waves of them, hopefully. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see. Because they are a cool season thing, so but I got lots and lots. Yeah, because I ran out of space for now in my seed starting trays. I don't really want to buy more, so we're experimenting. So I'm gonna try an egg carton, see what happens, because I think that'll be fun. But yeah, that's my seed starting journey. So exciting. Okay, I will redo my other stuff. I didn't even have to tell you that because like you won't know, but I can't, you know, it's all my thoughts. You're getting all my thoughts. Hello. I still haven't checked what books I've already updated about, but I wanted to show what else I've been up to this month. So not only am I in my reading girl era, I am now in my cozy gamer girl era, because I'm still playing Baldur's Gate a lot, for sure. But I've been getting this like weird, I don't know, anxiety in the mornings. So typically in the morning I do my morning tarot poll, which I still do. But then I would watch tarot tube and crochet, and I don't know what it's just not, it's not working right now, just when I'm having this, I don't know, weird anxiety. But what I've discovered helps is playing like just relaxing cozy games, which is what you're hearing in the background right now if you hear that music. But one I've really been liking is Potion Craft, which is like a medieval, you're like a medieval alchemist and you just kind of make potions. It's very it's like a puzzle game, I would say, but of course I pair decks with my games, so that one, the vibe is very much the Golden Tarot, so I've got that here for that. Oh, my new Baldur's Gate tarot is the True Black Tarot. Spoiler for my next new deck digest, but I got a used copy of that, and it's, I don't know, it's my Asterian boyfriend deck. Anyway, this morning I just started Bear and Breakfast. So cute, and I think the deck is going to be the Mystery Tarot, because so far it's reminding me of Gravity Falls, which is what this deck is based on. So yeah, I've been doing a bit more gaming than reading the last week, which is both fun. But yeah, I'm liking these games. Hello, I'm reporting live from the couch nest. This is where I've spent my whole weekend, but I'm in a good mood. I'm in a good mood because of it, so I wanted to share. I've got my new bunny. This is my new bunny friend. Found it at CVS. I think in my last clip I showed how I started the game Bear and Breakfast. So fun. I've been playing
quite literally all weekend. I took a pause. Yesterday was really, really, really rainy. So that I truly was parked here with my nest of things and played that all day long. And it was glorious. And then today I played that most of the morning. Then did some work outside. I'm getting the garden ready. So I got some hoops and a frost cloth for one of my raised beds so that I can start getting some stuff outside, like broccoli, some onions, maybe lettuce, question mark. Yeah, because I think it's looking like after tomorrow we're in the upper 30s for lows at night, but so it should be okay. But I got the frost cloth just in case, but I don't want to wait any longer because my raised beds are metal, so I have found that with stuff that is more of like a cold weather crop, the metal heats up the soil a bit faster, so I tend to my broccoli just bolts if I wait any longer, so I'm gonna try this and see what happens. Yeah, what else? Oh yes, I did that, and then I paused, returned here for the Glitter and Gators live, which was so good. So good. It was so much fun. They were on for a whole, 2.5 hours. It was so fun. Loved it. And now, I don't know. Maybe I'll read. This is what I've been reading. Encyclopaedia Faeries. I'm really liking it. It was slow for me to get into, but now that I'm into it, really enjoying it. I don't want to give any spoilers. This is where I struggle with things like book reviews and stuff, because I'm like, once my mouth opens, it's not gonna stop. So I'm hesitant to say much more. But just know, if you've tried this book and it was slow, it's feeling slow, just try and keep going. That's all I'll say. And then I still need to go back and see, because there was a clip. You'll probably have seen it by now. There was a clip that I think was talking about a book I finished this month. So I need to go back, see which one that is, to see what other books I have to talk about. But yeah, I'm just in a good mood today, which this week has been, just maybe it's that full moon energy coming up, but I just feel like I've been in a just tired, feeling burnt out. And so this kind of weekend was exactly what I needed, which is probably why I'm in a good mood. I just needed to make a couch nest and exist in it. So here's your sign. If you are feeling a little bit off, or things just have lost their sparkle, just make a couch nest and stay there for as long as possible and see what happens. So that's the update for right now. Yeah, I'm recording on my phone, so I shouldn't talk much longer, because I don't know about getting this to my computer. Eek! I finished another book! Right at the end of the month. I finished it yesterday, which was the 27th, so not gonna be finishing probably any other books this month, but I wanted to show my new reading journal. I got this off Amazon, and this was my treat to myself after I really kind of officially felt like I was really sticking with my reading girl era. It was something I was really enjoying, you know what I mean? Not that I need to stick with reading to, I don't know, not trying to be weird about it, but I've been enjoying it. And so, as a special treat, I got myself this journal to specially keep my little entries. It's really cool. So it's got an index where you can write which page what book is on, so you've got a list going, and then you've got a quick look at your starter reviews. Oh,
You can keep track of your reading challenge in this fun way. A reading wish list. That's fun. And then it goes right into the reviews. So we've got, you bubble in like book, ebook, or audiobook, title, author. Then you get like details about the book, your start date and finish date, thoughts or quotes, and then your star rating. It's just been really fun. It's one of those things where it's like, I get so excited to do this after I get done reading a book that it's like this extra little treat. But the book I just finished is, do I have my phone? Yes, I do. I returned it to the library because it's not wasn't our library's book because someone else had it checked out. So I put it on hold, like, and I'm okay to wait, but I accidentally put like a interlibrary, like a system hold on it, so it got sent from another library, so oops. But I got to read it sooner, so slay. Let me see what it was. I took a picture of it. Emily Wilde's Encyclopaedia of Faeries. You know, I showed it on here. I showed what I was reading, but I finished it yesterday. So good. So good. I have to say, it was slow for me to get into. And what I realized is, at least this is, again, I don't know what the author intended. I have not looked into that. This was my interpretation purely, so take it for that grain of salt that it is. It seems to me that the narrator, Emily Wilde, the characters seem to have a lot of neurodivergent, specifically autistic traits to me, very like, I think the term is kind of like autistic coded. And so what I realized is that in the beginning few chapters, she's on this journey by herself. And so the story you're getting is like purely based on her and her own thoughts, and she's creating this Encyclopedia of Faeries, which is very interesting. But I think the first few chapters felt a little bit like kind of, I don't think dry is the right term, but it felt very like academic and maybe a little bit dry in that sense. And what I realized is that the reason that was hard for me to get into was because I needed time to almost like really get on board with what I'm perceiving as the main character's special interest. Like thinking about my own special interests, when I talk to someone who doesn't share it, it's not gonna sound as exciting, they're not gonna know as much already. So it was this interesting thing of like, you start off on this journey and it's like, she's super into it, this is so important to her. And I almost feel like the narrator talks to us as if it's like, there's things we should know kind of thing, but like, it's, in this, to me, like what I realized feels like this brilliant way of like, this really good character building of, to me, it's just seemed like she is a neurodivergent character with a huge special interest, and it was like, I needed to get on board with that before I could fully understand. But it was interesting too of like how the tone shifts a little bit as she kind of like lets down her walls a little bit, and the ways she uses that kind of her intense study and interest as a little bit of a barrier between her and other people who she is open about like not understanding kind of those kinds of interactions. It's so cool. And then like basically there's like other characters who come into the story to be main characters, and it's like the story just like came to life in this way where it's like you get to watch her transformation of like building this community for herself while never changing herself. And I think that's what I really appreciated about it, was like, it was this slow start because it was like I was experiencing someone talking to me about their special interest that I just didn't know a lot about yet. And the story shifted because it's like we had other characters who were able to bring in almost like some more information, some different perspectives, and then it was like, wow, it just like really took off. But what I was saying was I really appreciated though that it was never this thing of like that she changed herself. You know what I mean? Because I think sometimes we get characters that are clearly like neurodivergent coded, and by the end there's this like, it's about like miscongeniality, you know what I mean? Like there's this transformation into like what is seen as desirable in society at large, and like that's like this wow moment, but that's not what happened with her. And it was 5 stars, totally a 5-star read. I cannot wait to read the second one, but I am moved on to, did I bring it in with me? Of course I didn't. Hold on. Okay, my next read, because this is another interlibrary loan, so it's not my library's book. Basically when I say that, what I mean is that, you know, at the library I work at, I am able to go into, like, if I have a book out longer than I'm supposed to, I can go into our system and see, okay, does someone else have this on hold? Are they waiting for it? Because then I'm not gonna hold on to it longer than I should. But if no one's waiting for it, then I don't feel bad. But if it's another library's book that gets sent to us, I really try to be like on time with it. I try with our books too, but you know, sometimes it's not enough time. Anyway, so I'm not moving on to the second Emily Wilde book because I already have this in and I'm really excited about it. It is A Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking by T. Kingfisher. Now this is my 3rd T. Kingfisher book basically this year. My first one I read in December, so technically not part of the 2024, but oh, like I loved it. It's one of those books I think about all the time. It was The Raven and the Reindeer by T. Kingfisher. It's like I want to own a copy. Like I have this list of books where I'm like, they wowed me to the point where I'm like, I just want to have that book. So my plan is to own a copy of it eventually because I loved it that much. And then I also read Nettle and Bone, which was also really, really good. That one is, I think, pretty popular on book TikTok, I want to say. I think that's where I saw it. And then I saw the author and was like, oh my gosh. But this is a book that one of my friends read. I think they read either November or December and they loved it. And then it was like, oh my gosh, T. Kingfisher, like, I'm having a whole moment, like, let me get that. So really excited about this one. I'm just gonna read the back to you because like, if you were into like cozy fantasy at all, I think you'd like this too. So, 14-year-old Mona isn't like the wizards charged with defending the city. She can't control lightning or speak to water. Her familiar is a sourdough starter and her magic only works on bread. She has a comfortable life in her aunt's bakery making gingerbread men dance. But Mona's life is turned upside down when she finds a dead body on the bakery floor. An assassin is stalking the streets of Mona's city, preying on magic folk, and it appears that Mona is his next target. And in an embattled city suddenly bereft of wizards, the assassin may be the least of Mona's worries. I mean, her familiar is a sourdough star. Are you kidding? I'm so excited about it. T. Kingfisher is just, like, in my eyes, so brilliant. It's like, every story is like, at least that I've read so far. I should say I'm also, like a quarter of the way through an early release copy of their book coming out in August, A Sorceress Comes to Call, I think it's called. So I'm very much immersed, I feel like, in this author right now, and it's just like, all of their stories, first of all, involve magic somehow, which I love. And it's like, they stick with me. I just really remember them. I think back to them a lot. It's so good. I'm really also enjoying that early release copy, which is a librarian perk that I'm not mad about. So But very excited about that one. Do I have any other updates? I didn't go to look and see, you know, I should do it now because I started uploading the clips of what other books from this month, like, maybe have gotten deleted. So let me do that. Never mind, we're all caught up. The only one I was missing was one that I finished. I started it back in February and then finished it, like, I think literally March 2nd. But that was Nettle and Bone by Kingfisher, which I loved. Amazing. Yeah, so that's that on the reading front. I love my little journal. I'm exclusively writing in it in sparkly gel pen, in case you wanted to know. I just felt like that was important. So, I think that's it. I think that's it. I think probably our next clip is gonna be my favorite decks, which I gotta think about, so I'm gonna do that. Hello. I wanted to talk about one of my favorite things from the month of March before I dismantle it to get ready for April. And that is, so if you've watched these before, any of my videos before, I feel like I talk about Andy all the time. And that's because we do a morning reading together every morning, which is so fun and such a fun way to just utilize more decks. And so I'm pretty sure, like, I do morning readings for myself, and Andy does too, I'm pretty sure. So we do those, and then our reading together is kind of like this fun way to, like, where we can kind of like experiment and do new things. Not that we can't do that with our own, but, like, you know, it's just a fun body doubling. And so what we tried out in March was doing the Lion Hearts challenge together, and it was, both of us had so much fun. Like, it was just the best. So it was the tarot trails, and what we did was the first of the month, it was talking about an essential theme, and we also wanted to bring our D&D dice into it because we both have dice sets. We've been using them for Don Michelle's Weavers practice this year, and we were like, it'd be so fun to bring it into this too. So what Andy did, she had the first day of the month where it was picking kind of a theme, was she made a list basically of, like, all possible themes that went with what this challenge was exploring, and just common groupings that we both have for our decks. And so she made a list, and then rolled the dice, and then whatever came up was our theme of the month. Isn't that so fun? So we ended up with, I don't remember exactly what it was, but it basically was like garden themed, like flower garden themed. So then what we did was we each picked 6 tarots and 6 oracles. Because if you haven't seen the Lionhearts challenge, they're on Instagram and they're the best. Basically how it works is every day there's a prompt, and they're not like super, you could get probably super involved with it, but we found that like 2 to 3 cards was plenty to kind of answer the question, basically. So what we did, I think though, I have to ask Andy, I need to clarify. I think she had like the themed oracles, themed tarots, and then I think she had like a wild card list, which is so fun, and I feel like where it was like once she can kind of like, she switched out a bit more. I don't know, I have to clarify that. Because she was pulling 3 cards, I tended to pull 2, and I never clarified. Just because I was I was like, ooh, what's gonna show up? But I think that's what was happening. Anyways, doesn't matter. So 6 oracles, 6 tarots, based on the theme, and then we used our 6-sided dice to roll to get our decks we were using for the day. It was so much fun, like really so much fun. So I wanted to show what's in my basket because I'm at my desk right now, which is where I film my videos. Oh geez, light. But also, when it's my turn to do the morning reading, where I film that. So I've got a basket I'm keeping on my side table, and I thought I would show you what's in it. Disregard. No, I'm not even gonna say disregard the mess, because that just is what it is. Let's start with the oracle. So I pretty much kept them like in the same order, so that way it was like, I don't know, I didn't want to mix them up because that seemed to mess with the point of the dice. So as number 1, botanical inspirations. 2, Southern Botanic. Number 3, unlocking the secret garden. 4 was herbal astrology. Then I had, this is like one of those weird boxes where it opens from the bottom. Don't love those. Flora healing, but I do like that deck. And then Oracle of the Roses, of course. And then tarot. This is the La Flora tarot that I keep in that pretty bag. Then Rain Shadow. Then I had, that's the Green Witch. This is the Pastoral Tarot. I love that bag. I really do. And Walking Meditation. And then this was a different deck at first, and I don't remember what it was at first, but then I had the Yonasa Yaos that I switched out like halfway through, I want to say. But I don't remember what was there first. I don't know. I don't remember. I'll have to go back and look, but I didn't end up getting to use that one because it just never came up. So, yeah, that was really fun. So we're doing it again, I should say. We're doing it again with this month. The next month is Mercury Musing. So I'll be sure to show what I pick out for that. I'm really excited. I love a good switch for the month, but yeah, I'll be back with the rest of my favorites. Okay, we are at the end of the month. Were those words? We are at the end of the month. So let's get into all the things, all the exciting things. Yay. Where do I even want to begin? I never make like a plan. I should. I bring stuff over here, which is why I'm looking down. Should we start with books? Let's you've been hearing about my books throughout this video, throughout the month. But I thought, because as I shared, I got this new reading journal. And the cool thing is that there's a monthly wrap-up page. I can't decide how I feel about it because I'm getting a little, like, because they give, how many pages? 1, 2, 3, 5 book review pages, and then it's a monthly wrap-up. So I'm like, ugh, this guy, what do I do? But actually, you know what? I'm starting a book in March, so it's fine. It's fine. But they give this page. I like this, where the monthly wrap-up is how many books did you read this month, favorite book, favorite quotes, reading list for next month, notes, things of that sort. I think that's fun. So, how many books did I read? Let's take a look. Let's take a look. 1, 2. So I finished 4 books this month. 3 books started and finished in March. I know. I will not be over it. Like, I'm a reader now. So I'm getting myself confused because I'm like, what have they already heard? You've heard about all of them. So I will just say that my favorite book from the month, I'm pretty sure, has to be Emily Wilde's Encyclopaedia of Faeries. Which, like, again, shocking, because anyone who I talked to about reading this book, when I first showed I was reading it, I was like, I don't know. I don't like it. Like, truly was hating on it. But I explained in another clip just, like, where, like, what changed. And, it's one of those ones where I'm like, I'm left wanting that feeling of reading it. And luckily, there's a second book, but I'm into a new book now. But that, I have to say, was my favorite read from March. So good. Close second, though, was, Nettle and Bone, but I mostly read that throughout February. I just finished it in March, so I think it's just not, like, in my brain enough, but Nettle and Bone, yes. T. Kingfisher was so good. So good. So, next, let's just talk about some favorite things I did, because I did some very exciting YouTube things this month. So much fun. So, to start off the month strong, I got to be a guest on Tara and Kelsey's collaboration I can never remember their capsule collection series. Cozy. I'm so sorry if either of you are watching this. Probably every time you're like, get it right, woman. But I can't. Okay, capsule cards and coziness. The themed capsule collections they're doing every month that I've been following along with. If you've seen, I've been posting videos of kind of what my picks are every month, but instead of posting my own last month, I got to be a guest on their live, and it was so much fun. It was really just the best time. Just the both of them are so nice and easygoing, easy to talk to, like nothing felt, because I could get some anxiety being on live. I think most of us would feel that way. But it's like, I don't know. It was so much fun, and I feel like all the things I did this month, it just felt like this thing of, you know that feeling when you kind of, like, haven't talked to an old friend in a while, and, like, you go back and it just, like, picks up where it left off? It felt like the things I did this month were just, like, people who felt that way, and not to be, like, so weird and creepy about that. Because I recognize that they're not old friends. I'm just, you know, meeting them now, but it's like that kind of like ease. You know what I mean? And if you're also someone who struggles with like feeling at ease socially, you'll know like just what a big deal that is. So that was so much fun. And the other thing I did this month was I got to be on a game that on Don Michelle's channel that Don Michelle and Lisa Pup has put together. What the fuck is up with that? With Danny from Danny Mystic and Marlena from Marlena Teresa and my friend Andy from Andy in Arcadia. And oh my gosh, that was also so much fun. Like, such a blast. And again, it was just like that feeling of like, it just instantly felt like, darn it, I can't put these things into words, but you know when it's, I can get a lot of worry when it comes to like being put into like groups that are new to me, and on both of these occasions it just felt so welcoming and instantly like, oh yeah, of course you're here, you know what I mean? Like, and I don't know, I feel like I know I'm rambling about this, but again, if you also like have the neurodivergent thing around that, it's such a big deal. It just feels like such a big deal, and it was really so much fun. Both of these things I got to be a part of, it was like one of those where I ended on the live, like, or got off the video chat, and it was like I just felt so good and at ease, and like I just had such genuine fun. Like, you just can't replace that with anything, you know what I mean? Like, I just really love getting to talk to other people who are interested in this kind of thing, or even just interested in other things I'm interested in. It's just the best, and like just makes me feel so at ease, you know? So if you're ever wanting to chat about tarot at all, like, please feel free to reach out to me somehow. Like, I love talking about it. I will not find it weird. If it helps, like, I do not recognize that many social qualms. That's just part of my brain is I don't, like, I will only catch on to it if, like, the other person is thinking it, you know what I mean? So, anyway, that's to say that. It was so much fun. Really so much fun. And so, anyway, speaking of the cozy capsules, I really loved my choices from last month, and I pretty much ended up using them for about 3/4 of the month. And found myself, though, really leaning towards one pairing over the other, and that was the Forest Lore Tarot with the Rooted Woman Oracle. it just felt like these two decks together were exactly what I needed for most of the month. And I should say, too, that the theme for last month was Plant the Seed. And these just really had that energy for me. And they paired so nicely together. It felt like this thing of almost like where my science analytical brain meets my more like intuitive spiritual brain, if that makes sense, where the Rooted Woman really brought that kind of like how I view a sense of spirituality that I personally have, how I connect with that energy just really was brought through with this oracle. But then my love for just information and, I don't know, knowledge in a science kind of way was really brought through with the Forest Lore Tarot. Not to say that it's not intuitive, but it felt like, because my practice is very rooted in nature and what's going on around me, and both of these decks are very connected to nature, but it was like in these two ways that just so perfectly complemented each other. And so I already know, like, I don't feel ready to put this pair aside. I really loved them, even though I did put them aside a bit at the end of the month, which I'll talk about in a second, but I just really, really loved them together. And so it's like this thing where the Rooted Woman can really pair with so much, but they've almost become I'll say semi-bonded in my head, just because of that, I don't know, that idea of like kind of in one reading getting this, scratching the itch of like science-y kind of information and how that connects to tarot, and then more like spiritual information. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So yeah, liked those a lot. And then quickly, I will also say, I thought I was gonna burp for a second. So sorry. I distracted myself. The Fellowship of the Weavers. So this month was so fun. It was a kind of like secret garden theme. So I did use my Tarot of the Witch's Garden, which I loved, but the real standout deck from the Fellowship this month was the Field Guide to Garden Dragons deck. If you don't have this deck and you like cute decks, I mean, come on. What are you doing? Anyway, really love this. There was a lot of, and interestingly, this wasn't initially the deck I had pulled out to use. I did want to use the Illustrated Herbiary deck because of like that plant theme, but it ended up where we had quite a few prompts that was kind of asking us to pull cards to represent a new character we were meeting. And so I was like, well, the Herbiary doesn't, I need to be given that personality, you know what I mean? And oh my gosh, did these little dragons have such personality. It just really brought the cards I pulled for the Fellowship to life, because it was like I really got this distinct character, and because they're garden dragons, it fit into the garden theme seamlessly, and it just, I don't know, it made me so happy. This deck in general makes me so happy. It's the colors and how cute the dragons are. The messages really are amazing too. I really got so much out of this month using this deck, so I wanted to mention that as well. That's the Field Guide to Garden Dragons. And then my other decks are ones that kind of were like a pairing I brought out of need, I guess you could say. Towards the end of the month, I felt myself wanting to kind of shift away from my capsule decks purely because just personally with the, I guess, burnout journey I am going through, it's not so much a tarot burnout for me. It is, I know it is entirely, it's a neurodivergent burnout. But of course, since I am a neurodivergent person, that is who I am. Me saying these things is like me affirming this to myself. By the way, it's not, I don't want to seem like I'm like over explaining. That's going to affect every part of my life. Unfortunately, tarot too. So, and I say unfortunately because like, I love tarot, it's my special interest, so like it sucks when that gets affected. And so towards the end of the month, it just really felt like I kind of hit this wall a little bit, and I think this is something I want to talk more about. Let me know if you're interested. I haven't done a tarot and neurodivergence video in a bit, and I feel like this is something that's been brewing in my head of like, because I'm experiencing it right now, I really want to talk about it, because that's just how I like to do things. But again, it felt like I kind of hit this wall, and it was the first time with consistency that it really felt like it deeply affected my ability to find interest in my special interest, which is, if you have ever also gone through that, oh my gosh, is it heartbreaking? Because it's like, that's any kind of advice you, at least that I have been finding online, out and about, it's sort of like, give yourself time to like delve into your special interests, but it's like, what happens when you can't, even that, you know what I mean? And so I took that as a sign of like, I need to pump the brakes, completely pump the brakes, and like, just not make myself feel bad about things. And it's tricky when like my routines are wrapped up in tarot and doing the routines don't feel as possible, but the routines are what is grounding. You see what I mean? Where it all gets confusing, honestly. So basically what I did was I had to be flexible. I had to be flexible when it came to my routines, which is hard, very hard. And so where usually my mornings look like I come downstairs, I feed Stevie, now I check on my seedlings I'm growing, I make myself tea, I come in here, I put on some sort of like background ambiance or music, and I pull my morning cards. Like every single morning, at least that I wake up here for the past years, I've been doing that because that is like, having that routine is so helpful. So instead of doing that, I had to be flexible with myself, and what felt good to do at the time was playing Bear and Breakfast, which I think I have a clip talking about in here. That's the game I was playing that month. Another favorite, Bear and Breakfast. So cozy, so like easygoing and just gentle, but really fun. So I'd make my tea, and I would, instead of even coming in this room at all, I'd sit my butt on the couch. I made myself like a nest of all, like things that just bring me comfort, and I played Bear and Breakfast. But because like, it's not like why I differentiate that it's not tarot burnout is because like it's like I had the desire, you know what I mean? It just was like feeling hard to do, and that's really the best words I have to put around it. So there were decks, I had to shift my decks around because I needed to pull out decks that felt, one, comforting, two, that felt any kind of resemblance of exciting. Yeah, just I had to pull out the things that I needed. And again, this is kind of what I think I want to make the video on, just to show what that vibe was. But I'll give a taste because there are two that were real like stand out, that a pair that really felt like I won't say that I'm out of it right now, but I'm back to my routine, which feels really good. And this is what helps it, where instead of it being like every day, I just can't, like I can't do it every day. Now it's like most days I can be in my routine, and there's just some days where it's like, okay, I'm just gonna pull cards, I'm not gonna journal it today, or like, you know, things like that. So that's enough talking about that, but let me know if you're interested in that video, because I pretty much switched out my shelves of decks that I had out to completely fit this need, which was really fun. That was another thing that was just, it helped a lot. It really did. But these two decks, I feel like, have been like my lifeline. Starting with the Blooming Lovelies. You know what it is with this deck? It's because, one, the illustrations are so fun. The words can be really silly. Like, look at that. Natural born badass. It's a deck that doesn't take itself too seriously, but holds, like, feels like it holds such wisdom, is the best way to put it, where I feel like, as I've said before, with these cards, it's like, I can pull one at the beginning of the day. It feels easy because there's nothing more to look at than the card itself. Look at that, with the tardigrade. But it's like the line on the card sticks with me because it's a little bit silly, because it's a little bit different. And it feels like it really, like, the meaning of it unfolds throughout my day, which has been such a good experience and so good for me right now as a way to still keep myself attached to that special interest in, like, okay, but, like, you know, I've got a card that I'm thinking about all day, like, yes, you know, that's great. So this just, I feel like I've just even been, like, carrying it around as a comfort thing. Like, I put it in my work bag, I take it out of my work bag, it comes to the couch with me, it comes in here, it's like, every room I'm in, it's like I bring it with me. I just find myself always wanting to bring it with me because, I don't know, I just, even just looking through it, again, pulling a card a day, pulling multiple cards a day, it just has been the perfect thing. And I love it so much. And so some days really just looked like pulling one card from here, but if I did kind of have a more, maybe high energy day, like just more spoons to give, I paired it with this tarot that was new to me this month, so you'll also see this in my new deck digest. And what is it called? Great question, Krista. Daydream. The Daydream Tarot? I'm not certain. I don't know, but it looks like this. I got it on Etsy, and it is just the cutest deck. Oh my gosh. Isn't it? It's like the sweetest thing. I don't even know if I have much to say about it, except that it paired with the artwork of the Blooming Lovelies so nicely. It just really complemented that feeling I needed. And if I was really feeling it, I also then, because this didn't have a guidebook that I'm aware of, I don't have it with me. Bummer. But I have the book. I'm part of Lisa's membership, and the book club book this month we're working with is Tarot for Change, I want to say it's called, which is a very psychological approach to the tarot. I've been loving it, and how I've been working through the book is actually pairing it with this deck. So I would pull a Blooming Lovelies, one card from here, and then I would read the Tarot for Change kind of as the guidebook, basically. And that's really what I did a lot of days towards the end of the month, and I feel like I've been a bit pulled out, again, like I said, most mornings where I can do my routine, and a lot of that is also to owe to getting the demo copy of the Heartwood Tarot. That really just like re-sparked a lot for me as well, because I'm so excited about that deck. But I definitely could see myself returning to this deck this month, because especially because Tara and Kelsey's theme this month is grounding roots, I want to say was how it was phrased. And I was like, what perfect timing, because I feel like what I kind of shifted into felt almost like prep for that, where I'm seeing it as like, okay, these decks were grounding for me. Amazing. So probably will keep those out. So those were my favorite decks from the month. Now, since I accidentally deleted my journal setup, I thought I would talk about... do I really want to? I don't think I do. I was gonna say I would talk about my cards in the month. I'll show them. It's not like I'm feeling like I need to keep it a secret or something, but I mean, that'd be fine if you did. Oh my gosh, that was condescending of me. I didn't mean it. I mean, like, I can't keep my mouth shut, and so I share a lot. Anyway, Grandmother Lavender, homeostasis. The pendulum swings to and fro, seeking balance. What feels right to you? I mean, I feel like everything I just said, so perfect, where it felt like, even though it was a bit of like I didn't have that much of a choice to, it still did feel like I was meeting myself where I was at. You know, it took work to do so, but I still did it. You know what I mean? And that's what matters. Now I know, and now I'm practiced in meeting myself where I'm at, and creating homeostasis for myself where I can. And that was also with the Flower of Wands, which is the Queen of Wands in the Gentle Tarot. And the line I quoted from this was, "Be who you are, fearlessly and unapologetically." I mean, so perfect, where it's like this, getting towards the end of the month, I was looking at this card on my tarot desk and being like, I am not feeling very Queen of Wands. Because usually they're like these social butterflies, and like people are so like, they're magnetic and people are drawn to them. Like, I am feeling the opposite. Like, don't come near me. Please. But phrased this way, of be who you are fearlessly and unapologetically, like, even though it didn't feel like I was really offering anything, not to make that sound so sad, oh my gosh, sorry, it was a thing of like, oh, okay, here's how I should phrase it. Even though it didn't feel good in the moment, I was doing what I had to do to be who I am. You know what I mean? And I think that's an important distinction, and what I learned this month, of being who I am is not being all of my palatable traits. Oh my gosh. Where'd that come from? Who's that smart girl on the screen? I don't know, I just pulled that out of somewhere. The smart side. So today's Easter. Can you tell that I've been over-socialized? Anyway, yeah, I feel like that was the big lesson this month. And so part of being who you are unapologetically sometimes means letting yourself exist in a way that, one, may not feel good in the moment, but you know is helpful for you in the moment, and two, isn't worrying about how other people are perceiving that, I suppose, or being of service to other people. So, is that where I'm gonna end? Jeez. Deep. But yeah, that's all I have to share, so I guess it is. I'm really excited. I'm really excited getting into this new month. I'm feeling that new month energy again. Feeling jazzed. because I've got some new things that are getting me so excited. And so, but you'll see that soon. My next video will probably be the new deck digest, because it usually is, but also I'm excited. Yeah, so anyway, let me know what your favorites were for the month. I'd love to hear. I love seeing the comments of people being like, oh yeah, I used this deck this month, or I played this game, or read this. I love it. I want to hear everything. And I hope you had a great month. I hope you did. I hope you're excited for April. I am. It's my birthday month. At the very tail end, literally the last day possible, but it is. So that's kind of exciting. My plants are growing. Love that. Now I'm just feeling weird about ending this. Okay, anyway, bye. See ya!